What's up, What's up, YouTube? I'm back at it again with another video. Today here I have a special guest. I have a channel. She also has a channel. And I had some questions for her. It just so happened that she stationed here where I'm from. So, got some Q&As. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes. So, I'm Drea. I also have a YouTube channel, like he said, Drea Q. I also have a personal YouTube channel, Chill Drea. So, make sure you subscribe to both. But yeah, like he said, I'm stationed here in Arkansas, and I'm here to answer some questions.
All right, let's get started.
I was saying, yeah, let's just get straight into it.
Well, question number one. What made you want to join?
What made me want to join? I already had an idea of joining the Air Force when I was younger because my father told me that he was in the Air Force, so I always wanted to be like my dad, so I already wanted to join. But once I got into the senior year, I wanted to go to college because I was playing a sport, so I got a scholarship for track. I went there for that. But once I got injured, I was like, well, now is my chance. I can go join the Air Force, because at first I kind of just didn't want to give up on, you know, the whole college life.
Question number two. How many years do you plan on staying in?
So, when I first joined, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sign this 4-year contract and see how it is, because what if I don't like it? I definitely consider retiring with the military, because, I mean, they'll tell you from day one, like, you can retire, you know, between the ages of, like, 30 and 40, or, like, 35 and 40. So, imagining that, like, that's really what's making me want to just stick it out. But also, when people ask me, like, do I want to do the 20 years, I just tell them I want to retire. But it really, like, I didn't even know I was going to be here a year ago, so I really couldn't tell you. But I do want to retire, so I'll try to do my 20, but I don't know where the Air Force is going to take me.
Question number three. In the whole recruiting process, were you ever interested in joining any other branches?
Yes. So I had a recruiter from each branch. When I first talked about Air Force, my dad knows that I'm a really, like, picky person. I always weigh my options. I always want to make sure I'm going with the best decision. So I did. I had a recruiter from each branch except for the Coast Guard, because I knew I didn't want to go Coast Guard. So I definitely chose the Air Force. My recruiter from the Air Force was, like, the best. He was the realest. He kept it completely 100 with me. So out of him and the Army, the Army's really, like, convincing. That's really how people be getting it. The Marines are kind of convincing too, but I knew I wasn't ready for all that. But yeah, I did. I considered all of them before I joined.
Question number four. What is the worst thing about just being in the Air Force, I would say?
The worst thing? I would say, like, just getting used to where you're at. So, like, moving around, basically. As much as you move around, is probably the worst to me, because I know, like, I can't get too comfortable where I'm at, or, like, too comfortable with the people I'm at. Like, I can, of course, I can't help it, but having to leave and, like, go other places, like, knowing you're not going to be here your whole term, knowing, you know, especially the people that you meet in BMT, like, you're not going to see them again for a while, like, even if you do. So that's probably the worst part, is just, like, knowing that, like, not everything is going to stay the same. You're always on the go, kind of.
Best thing about being in?
The best thing. I was just about to say that. That's also kind of, like, the best thing, too. Like, the fact that you don't have to be stuck somewhere is kind of the best thing, too, because, like, you get to travel, you go, like, you can go anywhere, really. And even with, you know, the travel days that they let you take throughout the year, like, you can just pick random leave days and just go, you know, wherever you want. As long as you're, like, saving your money, you can afford it. They let you go wherever you want. So it's, like, the best and the worst thing. Bittersweet.
Summarize your whole MEPS experience.
I went to my recruiter's office and I told him, you know, I just dropped out of school. I want to join the Air Force. I don't want to get a job, so I'm trying to go the quickest route to get the BMT, because I really don't want to do anything but go to the military, and, like, I need you to send me now. So it literally only took me, like, 3 months to get my date. So from December to March, every day I was doing paperwork. Every day I was calling him almost 3 times a week. I was in his office signing stuff, filling out different paperwork. So by the month of March, I had my date, and I left in May. Throughout that, we did, so I signed in, of course, the first time. Like, the first day I signed the paper, I was like, I know I'm going to do this, so you might as well just put me in here. Like, 4 days later, I went in and I swore into the debt program. And from then to the day I left, all I did was the debt meetings. We would work out with my recruiter and things like that. I was studying like the ranks, my my reporting statement, and the things that you had to remember, the memory work and stuff like that. I did that. And I was just making sure I was spending time with my family. But it was very simple. Like, the whole staying a night at the hotel was easy. I didn't have really any trouble getting through. It was like a really smooth. And when I tell people my story, they're like, dang, I waited like 6 months, or I waited like a whole year, and I had to do this, I had to do that. But it was really smooth for me.
How did your parents react when you was like, oh, I want to join the Air Force? How did they feel about that?
Okay, well, like I said, my dad was in it, so he was all for it. He knew I could do it. My mom, on the other hand, she was just kind of worried, because at the time I joined was around the time, when our chain of command, our office was changing, and, the world was kind of like scared. And that's kind of how my mom is. She's like she's a politic, so she's into all that stuff. So she was kind of worried for me, but I knew deep down, like, it would take a while for him to be, or whoever it is, to be all the way up here, and me just being here at Little Rock. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna, affect me as much as people thought. But yeah, that's the only trouble I had with my parents, was my mom and her politics and stuff. But she loves it. Like, she loves coming to visit. She loves, she had a ball at my graduation and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't even stop her. But yeah, my parents love it. And at first I could tell they were a little nervous, but it worked out. They're proud of me.
Dream base that you want to stay at?
Dream base? Hawaii. Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii. That's where I want to go. I actually want to just go to Hawaii, but if I was stationed there, then I wouldn't have to worry about going there. But that's my dream base. I mean, and it's like stateside, but it counts as an overseas base, so I would actually be getting, a little extra in my check too.
Like, how was getting yelled at for the very first time?
So, when you first get there, everybody thinks you're gonna get like screamed at to like hurry up and get off the bus, hurry up and do this, hurry up and do that. For me, I don't know, maybe it's because I was like in the mix, but like I always made sure there was somebody in front of me. I always made sure there was somebody behind me. So like, if anything did happen, it was either gonna get made up for, or somebody did it first. So I kind of really avoided getting yelled at. But I'll tell you, this one time I got yelled at though during BMT. We were marching back from chapel, or like church, whatever you want to call it. One of the girls in my flight, she stops before they cross the street, because you have to cross each other across the street. I was crossing them across the street, and she grabs her book bag because I guess she was thirsty. I don't know. She's some crazy girl, and she went to go grab for her canteen, and I was still in the street trying to get them to cross. But you can't move unless everybody's ready to march, and she wasn't ready to march, so I'm standing in the street, and an NTI in his car pulls up. And like he's behind me, like I'm like getting them to cross. He's sitting in his car behind me. He didn't beep or nothing, but all I hear is like the door shut. And he like ran up to me. He got like literally like this close to my face, like the brim of his hat, not his face, but like the brim of his hat was like touching mine. And he was like, "What are you doing? Why would you try to cross them if they weren't ready? Blah, blah." And like, when I tell you, like, I don't even remember what was going through my head. But knowing me, like, I thought I would have laughed, but I couldn't even get myself to react. Like, I was so, like, I was, like, shook. I was like, dang, like, I really didn't think I was ever going to get anybody to yell at me in my face like that. And that was really the only day. That's when I really, like, that night, like, I didn't talk to anybody. I was like, dang, like, I'm really in the military. It wasn't that big of a deal. I got over it. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Where was your first duty station at?
Well, Little Rock Air Force Base, Arkansas is my first duty station. It's really cool. It's real chill. Like, there's not that much to do here. Everybody says there's nothing to do here, but there's things to do here. But it's a good base for a new airman like me. Like, I really didn't know, like, how to budget all this money. I didn't know, I didn't want to get, like, a super expensive car that I needed. The seasons are cool. Like, The weather's nice. And the people are cool too. Like, it's an even amount of like younger airmen and like older NCOs and stuff like that on the base. There's a lot of interaction with everybody too. It's like real tight knit in my squadron. It's really cool. It's good for a first base, but if I'm here any longer, I can't do that. I can't stay here any longer.
Thoughts on deploying?
Deployment.
Yeah, like how would you feel if tomorrow? I know it probably won't happen like the way the Air Force. How would you feel about that?
Like Korea?
Any base, like really, but
Okay, well, I honestly, every once in a while, I will be thinking about like, okay, I'm really in the military, you know, I'm kind of getting a little too comfortable with just, you know, being here and just going to work every day. I need to be mentally prepared, you know, like we go through exercises and things like that, like base-wide exercises where it's like a quick, like a little reminder, like you are in the military, you need to be ready at all times and things like that. So I'm trained to be ready. But I will be like completely thrown off, like, dang, like, wow, like I'm really going, even though I know there's a possibility. I'm not scared. I mean, that's what I signed up for. So I wouldn't be scared to go, but I'm definitely gonna be like surprised, like, whoa, okay.
How do you like the attention that you get when you go in public and you have on your uniform, anything Air Force related?
So, well, one, you want to avoid, if you don't have to, don't wear your uniform in public. Like, there's sometimes, like, right after work, like, I got errands to run. I'm like, dang, like, I just want to go to the store in my uniform, but I'm like, no, I need to go change. You know, there are certain places you shouldn't be in your uniform. You shouldn't be wearing Air Force things. The attention is cool. It's like the whole thank you for your service thing is really nice. To me personally, like, I didn't do that much yet. So when people say it, I'm like, thanks. But I didn't really do anything yet. You get appreciated, especially like when you move to a base. Like, people know the base is there, so they know where you're coming from. It's like being a celebrity, to be honest. Like, sometimes it's like, wow, that's cool, like they really appreciate me, and then sometimes it's like, dang, like this is annoying, people keep staring at me. It's cool, but I personally try to avoid the attention because it's too much for me.
You can relive any moment so far. What would it be?
It's a good one. I would do like graduation weekend again, but like I wouldn't want to be at BMT again. But like I want to graduate again. So the whole graduation weekend, like I just remember, like I can see it now, like my parents running up to me and tapping my shoulder, like spending the day with them, walking around Texas, and my mom being like so like all over me, like, oh my God, you're an airman now, and stuff like that. And that was really cool. Like, that felt so good. Like, it felt like as soon as I seen my parents, that whole 8 weeks felt like it was nothing. Like, that's when it actually felt like it really wasn't even that long. It was long when you go through it, but once you're done, it's such a good feeling. So I would definitely relive at least that feeling. Like, I just want to feel like accomplished, like big accomplished. Probably won't even feel that until like I retire or something. But that was a really good feeling. I would relive graduation weekend, yeah.
How was your transition from BMT to tech school?
I feel like it's not even a transition, because it's like basic training ends, you go to graduation weekend, you come back. So that Monday, what's it called? Airman's Week. So you do like a week of transitioning into, you know, the real operational Air Force. Then you go straight to tech school, and it's like you go through like maybe like a week or so of getting introduced to that base and tech school, you know, procedures and things like that. But I mean, it is a big difference. Like, you go from 50 roommates to 1 roommate. You're not really told to do as much as you did in BMT. So it gets more lenient once you get into tech school, but not necessarily. You still have curfew, you still have to wake up for PT, you still have to go to school, march, and all that. So it's a big transition, but I mean, you're still under discipline.
What did you do with your free time in tech school?
So the first few weeks of tech school is this it's called like BTP. You have to stay in your uniform at all times, all duty hours of the day. But after a few weeks, they give you ITP, so you're able to wear like your civilian clothes, you can wear like regular clothes, you can go off base, you can even stay the weekend somewhere, but as long as you fill out the paperwork for it and stuff like that. So I would do me and my friends, we would take trips to like the mall, we'd go to like the parks, because I mean, my tech school was in Texas too, so We would go to the river walk and things like that. Shopping. That's when everybody gets tattoos and stuff like that. Movies. And then sometimes we would plan trips and we would like go. We would all chip in for like hotel rooms. And we would stay somewhere like in the city. So you can do that too.
Do you prefer ABUs or OCPs?
Ooh, OCPs. I can't wait to. I don't have mine yet, but I can't wait to get them. Technically, we really don't have to wear them until like the end of next year. But definitely OCPs. I mean, I love the uniforms we have now, but I tried on one of the jackets at the store, and I was like, wow, like now I see what the hype is all about. I don't want to look like the Army, but at the same time,
Yeah,
at the same time, they kind of cool.
How did you prepare for BMT workouts?
You'd be like, before I left for BMT,
Yeah.
I worked out maybe twice a week. Only because I didn't want to be killing myself, because I really didn't know how these workouts were going to feel for me. Because I ran track all my life, so like I was used to practicing and running. The only thing I really wasn't used to was doing so many push-ups. So like, I couldn't even tell you like how to prepare for the push-ups, because sometimes you're doing a lot and sometimes you don't have to do that much. I say to a lot of people, if you're not in shape when you leave for BMT, like not in shape for the PT workouts, I give it about a week and them workouts will whip you into shape like immediately. Like it's straight on every day, repeated workouts, so you're gonna get used to it. Your body's gonna form yourself to do whatever you gotta do. Well, one, you need to apologize because you haven't even said a number since like number 3.
Slow down for you.
Wait. I gotta get serious. Hold on.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Number 19. When do you think life will slow down for you?
It slows down, but then it's like it kind of picks back up really quick. Like once you get done like with your training, you get used to your job. It's like, and then it's like you're on the clock, so it's like every day, like you don't get summer breaks like college, school, and stuff like that. Like you working, this is your job, this is your career. So when it's like, I expect it to slow down though. Once I hit like maybe like NCO, maybe, but like the airman tier, the airman part is kind of like, because you're still basically training, because you're still trying to become an expert at your career. So I give it about 2-3 years.
Question number 20. Last question. What do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, if I'm still in the Air Force, I would have had to re-enlist. So I'm definitely going to re-enlist. I should be a staff sergeant by then. Hopefully I'll be somebody's supervisor. Or a lot of people tell me that I should be an MTI one day. So I'll be probably training to be an MTI. Because I really think I could do it. I'll be a good MTI. You know, I got a really good like connection with my MTIs when I was in basic training, because they didn't scare me, they like inspired me. So you know, that's why it was such a good experience for me, because I actually like looked up to my MTIs. But yeah, I see myself 5 years being an MTI, training people who are joining the Air Force. Hopefully that's a cool job. I do it.
Well, that's all I have, YouTube. Thank you for your time. Drea, you can add her on Instagram, Snapchat, all of that if y'all want.
I'll make sure he puts my information in the description below. Make sure you follow him too on his Instagram, Snapchat, all that Twitter stuff, whatever, you know. If you have any other questions for me or for him, make sure you put them below. We'll answer them right to the best of our ability. Oh, yeah.
I'll be back with more videos, but until then, I'll see y'all later. All right, YouTube.